Welcome everybody to No Labels, No Walls Festival 2021. It's the second day of the festival and we still have many interesting topics today and actions, shared actions. The festival is all about shared action. What can we do together? Small steps to create a better world. Next, we are enjoying the company of Ubi Lab Network. We are building networks for change. The real challenges we face in society can often seem overwhelming, too big to even begin to tackle. The problems are usually very complex and deeply entwined with issues that affect people in many different ways, often requiring change on many levels. But we can break problems down, hold a common vision of what better looks like, and together we can make a difference. Over the last 5 years, the Ubi Lab Network has grown from one small team of people in Sheffield, UK, to a network of 40 citizens-led groups across the globe advocating for trials of universal basic income. With the support of over 600 elected representatives across the UK, the network has passed over 30 local government motions, triggered a pilot commitment by the Welsh government, and turned UBI into a mainstream policy proposition. But this is a global effort, and we want to work with people in Finland. Join us to hear the story so far and learn about how we build an active and influential network that is able to start making a difference across a range of systemic problems and issues of collective concern. Our hope is that in this lesson together, we can begin creating action to form a UBI lab in Finland, to join with other UBI advocates and share learning to create effective action that is led by citizens. We are keen to hear reflections from people or organizations involved in or are aware of the UBI trial in Finland, or organizations actively working within social justice campaigns, be they of poverty, health, marginalization, climate, or democratic reform. We believe one of the impacts of universal basic income could have is increasing activism among citizens, increasing our collective impact, and increasing the rate of change we desperately need to see across the world. We want to have an open discussion about where the UBI Lab network can be useful in a country that has learned so much about universal basic income already. As Margaret Mead once said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that has ever was. Welcome everybody. This is Markus Vähälä from No Labels, No Walls Festival 2021. We are live on air internationally everywhere. So welcome Johnny, Josiane, and Sam from UBI Labs. We are so delighted to have you with us today, as No Labels, No Walls Festival is celebrating shared actions. How can we create actions to change the world? And UBI is a theme that is very precious to No Labels, No Walls community. We have had this theme 3 times in our weekly Action Mondays during the last year. So people are interested to meet and greet a group that has had success in UK and internationally of building a network around UBI. And Johnny, how are you and what are we planning to do today?
Hey Marcus, I'm good. Thank you very much for having us. It's a pleasure to be joining you once again. We have planned for today a brief overview of kind of some of the work that we've been doing and some of the examples that we have of taking action collectively together and building and learning on actions from each other that we've done, mainly centered around the UK. So to present that kind of framework of how we're constantly learning from each other and sharing with each other and adapting actions to make them appropriate for wherever we are. And then we've also got Josine, who's going to talk a little bit about the Hague Lab in the Netherlands that started, and a little bit for her personal perspective and the team there about why they want to get involved in this and how it maybe connects to different social justice campaigns and different causes that we all think very highly of and are important. And then we thought we'd open it up for some discussions around how people think this links to maybe some of the areas that they work in, and then talk about how we find ways to collaborate, find ways to start labs, look at how we might join in some of the actions that will already be taken and create some new ones.
Thank you, Johnny. How are you, Sam? How's life and how is UBI Lab Network doing at the moment? And what's the future going to be like?
Yeah, everything's pretty good at the moment. I think we're just continuing to sort of take advantage of the moment and the opportunities that are kind of presented by the pandemic, which is obviously terrible in so many ways, but also presents these opportunities to kind of shift the conversation forwards on things like social security and the idea of the welfare state. And I think by the end of my lifetime, I think I'll look back at this kind of time, and I guess like my parents look back on the Second World War, and then all the stuff that came after it, you know, all like the creation of the welfare state in Britain and the NHS and the social security system. Hopefully at the end of my lifetime, I'll look back on the pandemic as the time when everything changed and we decided we desperately needed to build a more humane and caring society, and hopefully a universal basic income will be like a core part of that. So yeah, no, exciting project. We've got a big new proposal coming up, and we're hoping to get a big load of press coverage for that. So yeah, all good.
We would be excited to hear more later about this proposal, because I think we need new kind of proposals everywhere, how to live the life in a sustainable way. In No Labels, No Walls community and in our network in Germany, where we are working with sustainable development, we believe that we need UBI to save the world. Like Johnny has mentioned to me, that if we would have universal basic income, perhaps we would have time to actually do something that that is saving the planet, for example. Josie, and I'm very glad that you are with us from the Netherlands. How are you doing? And tell me a little bit about your connection to the UBI movement.
Yeah, great, Marcus. Great to be here and great to talk to people in Helsinki. Yeah, at the middle of the pandemic, so this was November last year, I came together with some people who I'd been talking to already for a long time about universal basic income, but we didn't know that there was a network. So then we found Johnny and Sam, and we said, can we start a lab in The Hague? And it's funny, we're a group of quite random people. So one person is working in the healthcare, and she's especially seeing a lot of people with stress-related, money stress leading to physical stress. Because Holland is a country with lots of people have lots of personal debts, and everybody's sort of, feeling miserable in a very rich country. People are feeling super miserable, and so she looks from the health part. There's one woman who's a women's activist, and she sees all the child poverty and women, staying either in marriages or abusive situations because they don't have a basic income. So there's that angle. There's also quite a not right wing, but a pension a man who used to be an ambassador for the Netherlands, and he really likes the idea of UBI because it will shrink the government quite significantly. And in Holland we have a huge government, and he likes the efficiency of UBI. No longer thousands of people giving little bits of money here and there, and then not, and then blah, blah. but just a very simple, let's make it simple and let's cut out the middleman a bit and make things, makes the government a lot more simple. So we have different angles, and we have one person who's been on welfare and has seen how unpleasant it is and how you are stigmatized and how you're badly treated and this and that. So we come with a lot of different angles, and already just to be together and talk about UBI and getting our friends to start talking about UBI, it's just, it's one of those subjects that whenever you see a problem in the world, you can sort of say, hey, UBI would really make these things a lot better. So it's really a happy subject, and it's giving us a lot of pleasure. And I'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing concretely later.
Thank you, Josie. And talking about a rich country with miserable people, Michael, how is it life in California and UBI?
I don't know. I mean, as far as UBI goes, I know that they're having a march coming up in California for UBI, a basic income march, and I put that in the chat. So if anybody wants to join, that would be great, and maybe we can talk about how we could connect all the different movements together.
Thank you, Michael. Something tells me that we might have some ideas later in the session how to do that using art and culture. Me and Michael Bierman from the Strindberg Laboratory, experimental theater in Los Angeles. We are the producers of the No Labels, No Walls festival, and we are trying to link these individual actions happening at the festival together. So let's weave a web of UBI into something that we have already done at the festival. Soilikki Viljanen, my colleague from Kukunori, one of the organizers of the festival, what do you think about UBI? Are you familiar with the concept, and what do you think about the impact of things like UBI could have on society and for example, non-governmental organizations?
Yeah, UBI Lab is not a family, just, I don't know so much about that, but I know that in Finland we have quite a lot of discussion and among politicians and NGOs, and I was asking one person to come to discuss and tell what he thinks and the situation in Finland. But if I think the impact, it's it's so big, and that I think myself that is the way how to save the planet, and I'm really waiting from this discussion what kind of concrete explanations or what kind of concrete goals you have, and what do you think what should be done, and how do we know that we what is the outcome what we are waiting, and how do we do it? What are the steps? And I understand that this is so big vision and lots to do, but what do you think? How far are we on our journey? And things like that. I want to learn a lot more today.
Thank you, Soilikki. One of the founders of the No Labels, No Walls movement, and tonight's artist, Riku Turpeinen. What do you think about universal basic income, and what would that mean for artists and people working in art and culture? What do you think?
Yes, in my opinion, it's very welcome to have kind of movements like this, because it always brings people together and giving unique and fresh new voices and ways to do things together. And for artist point of view, always fresh sense of heart and part of fresh start, I can say, as I say in my new song.
In Finland, we've been discussing about how the COVID situation has crippled art and culture scene, and people are suffering, families are suffering, and people are feeling that they are not treated equally. And this kind of assistance would immediately help artists and people in this case. But
Yes.
We've been quarreling about the quickness of the government to put out propositions and real life action around making family and life sustainable for people working in art and culture. Elena, welcome to the session. Would you like to introduce yourself, and are you familiar with universal basic income?
Hi there. I'm currently part of the network with a new lab, but I've been interested in what happens next in Finland. So the connection to Finland is why I'm here today after the amazing trial. Just wondering if, for example, there is any progress on what happens next, if perhaps there's a political party forming in Finland, and what was learned from the trials. As I understand it, they were disadvantaged by being designed being designed in participation with people effectively on universal credit. So it actually showed how little that works, which makes me think that as proof that would encourage people to design it better or differently. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but perhaps you catch my drift. There's a lot of fantastic stuff to learn from that trial. So I'm wondering what happens next.
Thank you, Elena. I'm not very familiar about the future, but I'm trying to seek out information about the future. The cabinet has been busy with all sorts of things related to COVID lately, but that means that they are also more open to new propositions. And I am hoping that the Ubi Lab Network could create this kind of propositions locally, and we need this kind of country-to-country reflection. Alison, welcome to the No Labels, No Walls Festival. How are you doing, and are you familiar with universal basic income?
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone. I came on before and I slightly panicked. There was only 8 of you. I thought it was gate crashing some private meetings. And then Sam said, "Oh no, come along." I'm in Manchester in the north of England, and I'm one of the people trying to get the Ubi Lab Manchester, or recently we've been thinking of Ubi Lab Greater Manchester going. And I'm always really wanting to learn more about what's what comes out the pilots, because we're trying to persuade our mayor Andy Burnham to go with this, to run with UBI. So the more grist to the mill we can get of the positive stuff that comes out of the pilots, the better. And I want to have as good a handle as I can on the real detail of it, so that when people come back at me and say, "Well, come on, what did come out of it?" You're not just sort of talking in generalities. There's some really useful stuff that you can tell them. That's me. Thank you.
Thank you, Alison. And you can always gate crash. No labels, no walls. All are welcome, and we are now streaming to over 30 different platforms at the moment. So it's good that we can come back to this discussion later also, because this is also a start of something new. Johnny, could you tell a little bit more about UBI Lab, so we get an idea what it is and what could be done?
Certainly can. Thank you very much. Great to have so many people from the network joining us. Hopefully we'll have some really great discussions about lots of different perspectives and how we adapt all of these things and in a positive way make this up as we go along. So I thought it'd be just useful to give a quick overview of some of the things that the Lab Network has been working on. So I'm just going to try and share my screen. If you can let me know that's coming through okay. Yeah, fabulous. So the Ubi Lab Network is mainly UK centric. We've got labs in other places and labs that represent different groups. But in the context of Finland, we're kind of a couple of stages behind probably where you are in a lot of ways. So the idea of the Lab Network is that it's all focused around this idea of testing and finding out evidence and discussing that and doing that at an academic level and a very kind of rigorous academic level, but also from that very personal level, looking at the quantitative and the qualitative understanding and insights for people, communities, the economy and the planet. So we called ourselves a lab because that's what we want to be orientated around. We are majority of us advocates of universal basic income, but we're not doing that as a leap of faith. We're doing that because we want to make a difference. And the main reason we want to test it is because if this doesn't work, we'll move on to the next thing that could help people, because what we want to do is try and help people. We just see basic income as a way of doing that that seems to make a lot of sense. So the network itself is a decentralized autonomous network of groups. So it's just groups of people working together, trying to come up with actions that they think will make a difference, that they're interested in and that they want to work on. And each lab is a team of people working together on what's important for them and their communities. So I'm aware that we're broadcasting, as Marcus said, across 30 different platforms. So I just wanted to drop in so that everybody was clear that this is a universal basic income. So we are talking about a regular unconditional payment given to everyone on a periodic basis, whether that's weekly or monthly. Everyone receives it regardless of their income, wealth, or employment status. It guarantees a basic level of financial security for everyone, and it makes sure that nobody falls behind in society or through the cracks, and it supports people doing unpaid work, such as care for relatives and lots of other things that we do that aren't necessarily our jobs that derive us an income, but they are definitely work. So the Lab Network is focused on, as I say, testing the impacts of stuff. And as we move forward, that obviously changes a lot of the time. So the way that we tie everything together is that we all sign up to a handshake agreement, which includes these 4 values. So we believe that any UBI that is brought in, because it's not about having the perfect proposal that just gets implemented, there's going to be a lot of adapting and changing and debate along the way. So we have a set of principles that underpin all the work that we do and the universal basic income we want, that hopefully allows us the flexibility of being able to engage with lots of different people and work with lots of different people, because we know what the UBI is that we want is based on. We can debate about amounts, we can debate about implementation, we can debate about all sorts of different things. But for us, it has to be equal, it has to be simple, it has to be democratic, and it has to be inclusive. And what we do in trying to bring all these actions together and work on things together is we're always focused on finding the paths of least resistance to look at the impact of a basic income. So we don't have to be focused on a set model or a set answer. And we're looking for the leverage points that we can apply pressure to try and influence different groups of people that may hold power from different perspectives. So the Lab Network itself is 40 labs strong at the moment. You can see some of the places here. It started in Sheffield. It expanded to about 7 labs over the first 2 or 3 years before the pandemic, and then we've more than quintupled in size since the pandemic has started. So as Sam mentioned, as we were chatting earlier, none of us would have wished the circumstances, but they have created opportunities for us to grow and work together in all sorts of different ways. So we have 34 labs that are based in the UK, and we have 6 international labs. And the network itself is supported by a team of 4 people, which is myself, Sam, Chiwe, and James from Sheffield, which for anyone watching internationally, if you were trying to stick a pin in the middle of the United Kingdom and you were getting a prize for sticking it most centrally, that's where Sheffield is on our tiny little island. And what we do is that we support all of the groups across the network once they've decided what actions they would like to take and what they would like to work on. We all create resources. We all share those resources. In going through the motions of creating those resources and taking those actions, we all generate experiences, and we help facilitate introducing people to get peer-to-peer support of the experience from people that have either just taken that action or are currently doing that action right now, or would like to get together to plan doing that action because it's similar to the impact that they would like to have wherever they are. We create papers, we create pilot proposals, and we create campaign materials, as you would expect from any campaigning organization. And then we share them collectively to allow people to adapt them so that they are conveyed in the language, with the nuance, and with the understanding of their local community. Because the expertise that we value the most, and we have politicians, we have academics with the network, we have PhDs, but the expertise we value the most in the network is lived experience. We change things, and we change the world one person at a time. And the knowledge that you have, that you've gained over years and decades to know what to say to your neighbor, or how to say it, or how to engage with the community where you are based, whether that's non-geographically or geographically, is the most valuable thing, because that's the thing that becomes persuasive. That is an area of expertise that everybody has, and that allows us all to work together on creating communities. But it also allows us to look at things from lots of different perspectives. So each one of those resources that we create is adapted so it's appropriate for people from different places, but also with different lived experiences, which hopefully gives us an amazing portfolio of things to work with people on and engage with. As you would expect, we also run different events. Again, that as anybody that's engaged with basic income knows, it's a massive subject. It's really complex. It's got loads of different facets to it. So we try and put on events that are specific geographically to where people are, that are specific to different issues around kind of the future of work, or health and well-being, or campaigning, or looking across different borders to see what's happening in America, or even just getting together for a social and a conversation so we can chat more freely. And I just thought I'd mention a few of the specific actions that we've taken. So one of the things we've done in the UK, because we're constantly trying to find ways to engage, is to get local councils to pass motions calling on central government to trial basic income where they are. We've managed to pass or help people pass 32 of those. So 32 councils across the country have taken actions that are visible to the whole of their locality. And then usually with Sam's prowess and expertise, we try and get national press, but also local press for those actions. So here's a piece we got in the Guardian for the Sheffield motion. This is one for Leeds. This is one for Hull. But we also find that whenever you're taking an action, as Sam would say, I'm going to steal his words now, if it doesn't appear in the media and no one hears about it, it might as well never have happened. So one of the important things about taking actions is also thinking about how that translates into communicating that to other people. Obviously, we have social media as a tool at our disposal, but getting it in the paper is great. National, wonderful, it feels good. But actually, we found that getting it in the local paper, where someone goes, oh, that thing that I've seen from afar is happening where I am, actually brings them to.
I'm sorry to interrupt. There's some text on your screen. I think somebody.
Oh, is someone hacking in? What's happened there? Oh, is this because someone's posted the Zoom link on?
Sorry about that. Perhaps we can continue.
Just a second.
I posted where people can join in the conversation on the online.
Okay, just
sometimes people from online will join and just mess around, but it looks like they stopped. I don't know.
That's cool. Yeah, it's one of the things that we don't do is share Zoom links online because people come in and Zoom bomb you. That was the first time it's happened to me personally, though. That was fun. Right, closed the presentation and reopened it again. So I'll just try sharing that. That coming through okay?
I didn't know people. How can you project something on someone else's presentation?
I don't know.
Advanced hacking skills. Anyway, I hope that hasn't thrown you off your stride, Johnny.
No, it's fine. Before the pandemic, I'm used to standing on a stage in front of people, so all manner of things regularly goes wrong. So yeah, we were up to Hull, weren't we? And getting local press coverage because people actually see for the first time something that's happening where they are as well. So they find ways to engage with it because it seems closer to them. And it's all about persuading people to take action. And there's never one thing that actually tips people over the edge. It's a series of things that slowly builds them up to a point where they want to take action and they want to engage. And the more personal you can make that feel for people, the better it is. And one of the projects that we did in collaboration, because we do a lot of projects in collaboration, was a survey that was done by a couple of organizations in the UK, one called Organize, one called the Big Basic Income Conversation. And they did some surveys to submit evidence to the government. They got 17,000 responses, which was absolutely amazing. The problem is they had 17,000 responses. So what we did collaborating with them is that you can see on the left-hand side here, we took all of those responses and we used Google Maps and we created a map with 9 different layers and 17,000 data points on it. So you can scroll in, because it's a Google map, all the way down to the street level, and you can click on a series of dots and you can read what people on your street, in your neighborhood, in your town, in your city would do if they were given a basic income. So it's this way of converting information into things that are palatable, that help other people want to engage and look forward to taking action. And we did, again, to amplify this on social media, we did a series of posts for the London lab to post kind of the responses in London, and the Welsh labs to post what was going on in Wales. Alongside this, we all have politicians in our countries, so it's really important to try and find ways to engage them. So what we've done is we've taken a model that's recognised in the UK called an APPG, which is an all-parliamentary...
Oh, John, you're such a naughty boy.
Someone hacked in again. Shall I just carry on, or can you work out who it is?
Carry on, Johnny, please, Daddy, please.
Whoever the admin needs to kick that
Marcus
Tim Wilson
and
person out.
Johnny, oh my, you guys are so naughty.
So it's Tim, right?
It is me, Timmy. Oh, Johnny.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Tim.
As far as Zoom bombs go, this is quite innocent and nice.
Cool. So we have something that happens in the UK called all-party parliamentary groups, but they're only representative of people that reside in Parliament. And obviously, basic income is about engaging people further and wider across the country. So we created a hybrid model of that has an even longer abbreviation, but it basically means that it includes local representatives as well as parliamentary representatives. So we formed a group. We have 6 co-chairs of that are representative of the 4 nations of the United Kingdom. And we've brought them together, and we've brought groups of local councillors, mayors, members of parliament, members of the devolved administration parliaments in Wales, Scotland, and as we move forward with Northern Ireland as well. And they create a series of actions, and we are the secretariat for that. So we help them support and have monthly meetings with politicians to give them information and come up with actions for them to take to try and make universal basic income more visible and try and move it along so that when they're in different situations, they're talking about it as well. So we did an action where we got 520 elected representatives to co-sign a letter that went to the Chancellor of the country. We supported that with the backup of people to put on social media that they were supporting the politicians. And that got us some lovely coverage in The Guardian, one of the most well-respected national newspapers, which was great. I'll quickly go through just a couple of the other actions we've taken. Off the back of the success of that, because we had elections across the country in the lead up to the start of May, we decided we'd campaign to get lots of candidates that were standing for that election to campaign on a UBI platform. So we started off by targeting the mayoral races that were taking place that happened to be culminating on the 6th of May, which resulted in, of the mayors that were elected, we actually got over 2 million people voted for the mayors that actually campaigned and got elected on a universal basic income platform. That evolved into doing the same for the Welsh Parliament, which also culminated on the 6th of May this year. So we did a series of actions where both we reached out to representatives who were campaigning as candidates to pledge to support trials of basic income, and the general public could call on their local representatives. So we're layering up those actions of people looking to be in a position of power, and hopefully where some of the power still lies, which is within the general public, calling on their elected representatives and the people that represent them to do something about universal basic income. That resulted in 25 of the candidates that pledged getting elected, which I know in the Finland context might not sound very many, but for the Welsh Parliament, there is only 60 seats on the Welsh Parliament. And that has now resulted in the First Minister of Wales, or at least contributed to, calling for a pilot to take place in Wales. We also collaborated with a group in Scotland, Basic Income Network Scotland, to do the same for the Scottish elections. And we actually did slightly better there in the fact that we got 29 pledging candidates elected, which again is in the context of just 60 seats in the Scottish Parliament in Holyrood. We also translated this into a set of actions for local councillors, because elections for those were also taking place. And for us, it's all about finding ways to reach out to people and connect with people. Now, obviously, that works really, really easily in terms of geography, because people often identify as being part of a citizen of a town or a city rather than just a country. But they often also identify as being part of different communities. So we actually have 6, there's 5 depicted here, 6 non-geographic labs. So we have a UBI Lab Youth, we have a UBI Lab Women, UBI Lab Arts, UBI Lab Disability, UBI Lab LGBTQ+, and a UBI Lab Food. And this is groups of people who are coming at this from the perspective of having a lived experience that gives them more commonality with people that are maybe in different places rather than just geographically being from the same place. And they're working in a similar way to the ways we've found those pressure points and those levers, but within those communities and in those groups that are representative of whether it's musicians unions or students unions, and different elements of taking what we've been reasonably successful with so far and adapting them so that they're appropriate for their communities. So that's really what the UBI Lab Network is. We've built organically from a tiny little group of people in Sheffield that just started meeting in a pub. We became slightly more formal because we moved to a cafe, and then we got really serious and we booked a meeting room. And we've basically just done it by talking to each other and coming up with ideas of actions that we think we could take, having a go at them, seeing how they work, feeding back to ourselves, and then as the network grew, to each other, and adapting and tweaking and changing them to make them appropriate for wherever we were trying to take them. So although in Finland, you're in a lot of ways campaigning or in the next stage of campaigning because you've actually had a trial, I think there's lots of ways in which we can have a conversation in a short while about going, well, where are we now? Where are the leverage points? Where are the pressure points? How do we influence and engage with power? How do we create our own set of power? And how do we stitch those things together by taking lots of little different actions that works through the hierarchies of different power, but also the strands and perspectives of people's influence and ability to push and poke and prod and change things. But I am going to hand over to Josine in the Netherlands, who is a co-founder along with 5 others of our Hague Lab.
Great, thank you, Johnny. Wow, what a What a good presentation. I don't have any slides, so I'm just going to tell a little bit of a story to you guys. I see Tim has left us, I'm happy to say, because I'm a bit scared of him, but let's not bring him back. Yeah, what to say? So, well, what Johnny was just saying, I mean, the UK is way ahead of us. So I'm always a little bit I'm sort of a little bit jealous when I hear all these representatives and it's all going so great there. But of course, it's also very good that these things are moving quickly. The UK, of course, also is a country on its own, has its own monetary, economic policies, whilst the EU countries, we're one big European Union. So things can also be a little bit slower maybe in the EU. What we're doing in The Hague, we're really focusing. So we're thinking big, but we're acting small, and that's how we take it. So the thinking big is really, the UBI is such a good is such a good solution for so many problems that we're seeing right now, and a post-capitalist society that is really breaking down, not only at the fringes, but I would say even at the heart. Things are really going, getting more and more painful from a daily perspective, and UBI can really almost like switch things around very significantly, actually in quite an easy way, because it's just making sure that money gets pumped around in a different way. So it's really fun to talk about it. What we're doing is first of all, we're talking to everybody we know about it. So that's really on the popular side, just talking to the people we know, getting people together, and making sure that we just, discuss it wherever we can. Last week I was at a meditation retreat, and there were two people from different cities in The Hague who said to me, give me more information. We're going to start one in my city as well, because it's just, it's just a fun, in a way, it's almost like, how do you say, an antidote for all the cynical, bad stuff that we're seeing. Talking about UBI makes you feel a lot better, and that's already a good start. Then the other thing we're doing, and in line with what's happening in the UK, is that we're talking to our local politicians. And that was actually quite amazing. It was, I thought that would be the part that would take it forever and be very tough to do. But actually that went so quickly. We talked to 3 local parties, reasonably big ones, and all 3 of them were very impressed. They really they were already thinking about it. And we now have, at least I've verified one in the new election for, we're going to have local elections at the beginning of 2022. And this one party has actually got it in its program. So we're making sure that they are putting this trial of UBI in the Hague, in our own home city, that they're putting that in their political programs. And that's the first step to actually getting it done. I see Johnny. Oh, not raising your hand, clapping. Thank you, Johnny. Thanks. Okay, nice. So that's that. And then the other part, and that's the part, I'm an economist, so I really like talking about the money aspects. And I'm actually a macroeconomist. So, looking at the whole macro side of things, how money, I heard somebody saying about quantitative easing, people's quantitative easing, how money has been flowing so much to the large corporations run typically by men, and making them earn a lot of money. It would be so healthy if money could start flowing much more towards people, who are looking after kids, who are making beautiful music, who are looking after gardens, typically a lot of these people are also often women. So it would be so healthy to just get small amounts of money flowing into correct places, as opposed to very large amounts of money flowing into the old-fashioned structures. And I think that's so the economic side is macroeconomic, but also, and that's also one aspect to really talk about, and I find very interesting, is really the personal finance side of things. So, and one of my co-founders is Marie-Christine, and she has been living on welfare for quite a large part of her life. Now she has a job again. She's working as a mechanic. So she's earning money, but also always on a very, very low income. And she says how your life can be, how you can live a very good life on a small amount of money, actually a life much more in line with your ecological within your ecological boundaries and within also your ethical boundaries, and how to live a good life on less. That's also a part of the conversation that makes a lot of sense, because the basic income that we're talking about is not going to allow people, it's not going to allow for three holidays abroad typically. It's a basic income, and talking about how we view money, both from a macro perspective, but also very much from a personal micro perspective, I think is also an interesting and healthy conversation. So we're working on these parts, and one of the great things of a network is that you have all these different people who are interested in UBI like we are. So we talk to once a month. There's a whole all the different labs come together. There's the possibility, of course, to talk to the women's lab or to the disability lab or the food lab and take the angle of one of these specific labs. And then there's also the international labs, who are like us, the first labs in a country, and working typically also with other organizations. We have one in Jakarta in Indonesia, in Bucharest, in Washington, and what is it in up there with you guys, but not what is it, Iceland, the Nordic one there, and then in the Netherlands. And it's just a lot of fun, and I really believe that it's one of those really basically sound ideas that the more every little push that you can give to it is helpful, because it needs some more people to talk about it and to understand that even though it's very different from the past way of money structuring, I mean, actually that's a good thing, right? Because the current structures of money structures are really, really not healthy. So it's quite different, but it's also quite a basic, it's a universal basic income. So it's quite a basic idea. There's nothing too wild about it. I like the fact that it can trigger your imagination. There is a boldness and some courage needed. But I think we're seeing so many the problems we're having, not just ecologically but socially, in the money world, are piling and piling up. At some point, that pile is just going to be so high that it's going to tumble down. And then it's good to have a good basic idea to help us to help guide us through that. That's about it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Josie. Always so many insightful perspectives, and it's really great to hear, hopefully how those kind of ideas do translate across borders, as in kind of like we're talking to our local representatives and we're going to try and make them pay attention, because we're trying to make them see the advantage and find the differentiating factor that helps them in their campaign to stand against other candidates. Like that's the way that we get people to take these things on board, is just to go, right, obviously there's this big macro thing that helps lots of people, but this is how this can help you right now get elected.
Yeah, maybe Johnny, to that, there is one thing, and I find it interesting, actually. I'm part of D66, which is the Democratic Party here in the Netherlands, and it's really interesting. For the last 4 years, the members of my political party, which is the Democratic Party, so we keep on saying we really want to start piloting basic income, and you see enormous hesitancy from the politicians. And I think it's not to be unfriendly to them, but we are taking away, a large part of what makes it fun to be a politician. Because what makes it fun to be a politician is say, you get a little bit more, you get a little bit less, you get, that sort of tinkering with money flows is part of the fun of their job. So I think you got to be a little bit honest that taking that away and making it super simple will limit maybe their job pleasure a little bit. But on the other hand, we've got some really big ecological and social problems coming our way, and then we can start thinking about those. So where it might, where there currently still is some hesitation from especially from national politicians, i.e., we're taking away some of the fun of their job. We just got to say, well, there's going to be a need for your intelligence in some other areas coming our way.
Yeah, that's a fascinating way of looking at it. I'd not quite thought of it like that before, but yeah, you are completely right. That is, yeah, even if they don't realize that that's what appeals to them, that is part of what they're doing. We'll just have to make sure that they can, with an economic floor, there's the ability to create incredible legacy projects where lots of people will benefit from their interventions and their suggestions for decades to come. I'm aware that we've been talking for a while, so hopefully that's given people a really good overview and insight. It's certainly not everything that's happening, because even though I work sort of 4 days a week and Chiwa works 3 days a week on this, and Sam and James work a couple of days a week each, and we're at the kind of the core of this, trying to support everything that's going on. Not even we know, because there's so much going on now, because there's 40 different labs and they're all at different stages. Some of them have been around for sort of 3 years, some of them are just starting, and everybody's kind of doing the thing on the ground that persuades people one at a time. So I wanted to, or we wanted to, open it up to maybe any questions that people have, any ideas that people have, because obviously we're all here to turn the talking bit into the walking bit, and maybe the odd sprint or kind of throwing the odd thing. But yeah, whatever actions that you would be inspired to take, even if you don't think it's possible yet, it'd be great to get people's thoughts and perspectives on those.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Hannele, welcome to the event. What do you think about UBI and UBI Labs?
Hello, everyone. I just popped in actually by accident. So I'm just listening, and it sounds really great. I think I'm not so familiar of the thing, but anyway, it's interesting, and I want to learn more. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannele. And to be able to learn more, what does it need to become a UBI lab? Does it cost something? Does it take time? Do you have to have an organization around UBI lab?
A really useful and very simple base level question that we should have probably covered. Thank you, Marcus. So we've tried to make it as simple as possible. We started this as in a very simple way, and just tried to create something that was easily replicable by others if they thought it was worthwhile doing. So we have what we call a handshake agreement. So that's just to make sure that on paper people understand what responsibility they're taking on, mainly in the context of going, well, you're now going to be a representative of 40 other groups across the world. So when you are speaking to people, or whether you are posting, when you are posting things online, just be mindful of that, and you're representative of lots of different people. So we typically have a Zoom meeting with people, talk about a little bit about their background and their interest in basic income. And then we start to talk about what they would like to campaign on. We have that handshake agreement. Once that's in place, you get access to all of the resources. They're in shared folders. We're here as a core support team. There's absolutely no cost to it whatsoever. You are kind of signing up to take on the responsibility of trying to move basic income forward wherever you are. So we're pretty open to that, because it's not like you're benefiting financially. You're taking on responsibility of spending some time doing something that is, we think, very much worthwhile. And we work with you to create a brand for your lab. So obviously we have quite a strong brand that ties everything together. It's very image led. So we create a brand that is hopefully, the brief for creating the brand is it allows people that live or are a part of your community, that image would make them feel proud of that place. But also in the context of it being an international network, it's unique and different, so that when looking in from the outside, if you don't know that area, it's also interesting. So hopefully what we have is 40 brands that are connected together in a way that means that when someone goes knocking on a door, they're clearly part of a bigger network, which makes them much more likely to get a response. But we've lowered the barriers to accessing that ability and hopefully that influence to as low as they can get to. And then it's really just starting that process of learning the bits that you want to learn. We certainly don't have a specific sort of basic income that you have to learn the glossary of. We're all learning it in different contexts. When people have questions, we introduce them to the economists in the network, or the researchers in the network, or the politicians in the network, and that's how we share knowledge. So it's really access to an ecosystem that is being offered with the lab network, and it's just a simple sort of 3-page document that lasts for a year. The only real obligation is to try and put on sort of 4 events within that 12 months, so that you're being active. We've not stuck to that as strictly as one might do in normal times, because apparently we're in the middle of a little bit of a crisis at the moment. So we're being really flexible with that. And we've got lots of different labs at lots of different stages. We've got labs that are just a couple of people that are currently in the process of talking to people in their communities, in their towns, trying to gather people around them. And we've got labs that are sort of 10, 15, 20 people strong, or that have almost broken down into little groups taking different actions.
Thank you, Johnny. Josie, can you explain how did you create the UBI Lab in Den Haag?
Yeah, I came across this in a book about basic income, a bit of an obscure book, something from a professor, which I was reading, and I saw, hey, Ubi Lab Network, and I contacted Johnny, and then I had a call with Johnny and Sam, I think it was, at the initial stages. And I thought, wow, this is great. I can finally, I always thought that I was one of the very few people thinking about basic income. And all of a sudden there are all these hundreds and thousands of people who are actually thinking that this is a really good idea. So it was a little bit like that moment in Toy Story 2, you know, and he sees all the same, thing that he is himself. So it was a great feast of recognition. And then I gathered these other people here in The Hague whom I already knew. I didn't want to have anybody, because I'm a salesperson, so I didn't want to have anybody that I was selling to. So it needed to be people who were autonomously interested in basic income. But I found these 5 other people. And I actually forgot to mention one guy who's a young guy who's just finished his studies. And for him, he keeps on saying, basic income is inevitable. He's certain, because he's still quite young, he's like 21. And he's certain that in his, in a foreseeable future, there's going to be a basic income. From a youth perspective, it makes so much sense. So we got together, and we're this. I do like the fact that we are people from very much different perspectives. So if you set up a group like this, don't go too homogeneous, because then it quickly gets a little bit boring. So the more diverse, the better, probably. And also then you have a lot of different sets of friends and knowledge to get together. And then we come together once a month, and we plan either we have great plans to do a real life event. We did not want to start with a Zoom event, because we didn't feel, you want to start with real life event. And of course, through COVID, we couldn't. So for some months, that's why we put a lot of work on talking to the local politicians, because that went actually quite well with Zoom. And we've also been talking, that was actually quite cool. One of the ladies, she's a surfer, and through the surf club, she knows one of the really big lobbyists here in the Netherlands, who's going to help us. We did our arguments towards him, and he said, no, you can do a lot better. So he's going to help us, really sharpen our knives as the arguments go. So we're really doing what we can to set this up. And indeed, the onboarding was super simple. We got the Handshake Agreement, which basically says that I looked through, there's no horrible legal stuff and no horrible financial stuff in that. It's a clean document just saying, I'll do my best. And if I don't do anything at all, then of course the network can kick me out, which is also reasonable. And we signed that. And then we started. So now for 6 months we've been gathering, and it's getting we're getting more and more momentum. It's easy, and I can highly recommend it. It improves your life quality.
Thank you, Josie. And me and Soilikki, we were thinking about setting up an association to run UBI labs. Are there any examples of having a UBI lab linked to a company or an association or any other type of organization, or is it just group of people coming together and decided that we are the UBI Lab?
I would say, hopefully at its base level, it is about the people that come together. We say there needs to be a minimum of 2 co-founders to start a lab normally. There's been a couple of exceptions to that when people have been really enthusiastic, which is fine. And it just means you're kind of building from a different point. And some of the labs, like the Youth Lab, had 9 co-founders when it first started. There are some that are, I would say, probably more embedded in a specific area. So the Newbury Lab was founded by 3 Green councillors in Newbury. So they're just from one party. The Surrey Lab is founded by, I think, 5 people, and we've got 4 of them are councillors, but they're from 3 different parties. And we're currently talking with Hastings, and they actually already passed a council motion, and then they've gone on to go, well, we'd like to do more than just pass council motion. So that's coming from a council perspective. So there's ones there where it's kind of tied into an organisation in inverted commas. And then the Jakarta Lab, so when Yanu reached out, I think they were the 5th lab, Yanu is actually part of the Indonesian Basic Income Network. So it's a countrywide network, and they have a Jakarta Lab. So we kind of co-brand stuff up so that the Indonesian network is dialed into the lab network. So we're happy to be quite flexible. The Washington Lab at the moment started as a Washington Lab, but they've moved really quite quickly into maybe getting towards some money for a pilot. So they're looking at what association they can have with different organizations outside of the borders of their country, and whether they're allowed to access that money. So again, we can be adaptable to make an associate model or a model whereby we can engage with people in the way that they want to campaign for this. And as we kind of briefly mentioned at the start, I think this basic income is not a panacea or a silver bullet, but it facilitates lots of different other campaigns, whether that be kind of social justice campaigns, whether that be climate campaigns, because it puts people in a position to be able to have more choice. And if you have more choice about how you spend your time and what you do with that time, then we have the opportunity to get more people involved in hopefully solving more problems. And that's why, as an organization, as Opus, based in Sheffield, that the 4 of the core team work for, we picked this up as a project and moved forward with it, because we think it's the biggest leap forward in facilitating as many people as possible, bringing their expertise of lived experiences into making and, well, hopefully having an impact on making systemic change. So the more ways we can associate with current organizations or groups, or however we want to do that in an affiliate way, as long as there's a personal connection, so we've all got someone to talk with and talk to, I think we can make just about anything work.
Thank you, Johnny. We were thinking about sustainability. I understand that time is limited, and sometimes you need resources to buy that time that you can concentrate on UBI. Perhaps we need a UBI to campaign for UBI. But before that, are there any examples that have been people creating project applications, getting funding by donations, and how does that work? Do people and groups and UBI labs need money to run UBI lab activity?
So we've managed to get holds of bits of funding, and we've managed to find bits of chunks of funding in kind of small bits to help people overcome barriers that can be easily solved with a kind of a financial solution. Interestingly, you say a UBI to fund a UBI. There's a good friend of the network called Scott Santens, and he is a full-time UBI campaigner and exists basically by releasing stuff on Patreon. So he basically has a crowd-funded UBI, and he uses that to campaign for universal basic income. So it is possible. We also do take little bits of donations, and that's something that we're working on, is how we get better at funding and generating that revenue through donations. But the main way we've kept the project going so far has been by getting money from funders. We also had a small anonymous personal donation for about £5,000 when we were first getting going. But as the labs have grown and evolved, they have got to a point where they're in a position, and we are, one of the things that we're looking at as well as an affiliate model is effectively an independent lab where they will register as an organization so that they can engage with funders on an individual basis. So the Liverpool lab, the Wales lab and the Northern Ireland lab are just about at that stage. So we're currently working on all of the company documentation that would be required. As with all of these things, it's another action that we can take. Once we've done it 2 or 3 times and worked out what works, we'll then provide that with a resource for other labs who are at that stage and want to take that next step. The Northern Ireland lab has recently managed to get some funding from a German university and another source, and they are working towards raising between £50,000 and £90,000 to do a feasibility study in Northern Ireland. And that's led by Patrick and Kieran and the team there in Northern Ireland. Patrick is also on the CPPLG. He's also a local alliance councillor, and he's also doing his PhD in UBI and conflict resolution. So inspired by Andrew Yang's freedom dividend, he wants to do the pilot in Northern Ireland under the banner of a peace dividend. So it's a post-conflict community. And then the Wales labs, so we actually have 7 local labs and a national lab, and the national Welsh lab is all of the local labs together. So they work as a kind of like hub and spoke model within Wales, supported by myself and Sam and others, but they've been really running ahead and made some incredible progress. Again, engaging with politicians, doing grassroots activism and actions on the ground, knitting things together, bringing people together. And as I mentioned earlier, they've got the First Minister to say that he's going to do a pilot. It is for a small group of people at the moment, but they're working on a campaign that they've just launched a petition for that's, again, getting national coverage to encourage them to expand that pilot to beyond just care leavers. And we managed to help them get a bit of funding. And we're also looking now and going forwards in making them an independent lab and looking at how they might find funding to resource that lab better. And then, yeah, the third one is the Liverpool lab, who managed to recently get just a few £1,000s to run a series of events over the next 2 years and do some specific engagements that they had to write a proposal for. And that's, I suppose, one of the other really nice things that this is supported by Opus, which is a for-impact social enterprise based in Sheffield, is that we have a skill set within the kind of 14 people that are Opus that facilitate and enable people to hopefully write those funding bids and do all those little bits in between. So the lab as it forms doesn't need to have a specific set of roles. Obviously, there's a desirable skill set within any initiative that anyone tries to do, but we can hopefully, between the network and Opus and the core team support, fill all of those roles until the lab is able to grow to the size where it can fill them themselves.
Thank you, Johnny. No Labels, No Walls is art, culture, and action community, and that's where we are quite good at. And if I I've learned from you guys, you are very good in engaging people sort of on a grassroots level, not only talking the talk, but actually walking the walk. And that's what we did yesterday with revolutionary listening. We are trying to do small steps towards being more braver in our society and doing things. Michael, do you have some ideas that to connect the UBI Lab theme with art and culture action?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things which is great that you all were talking about is individual action in the map that you created, and how smaller acts can lead to bigger acts, which is the whole idea, I think, that we're moving towards. So I wanted to ask if you can put on the No Labels, No Walls Facebook group just those links to, let's say somebody wants to go into their community and then talk to them about UBI and then let you all know about it. Can you put that in the group page, the Facebook page? Because what I was thinking is I'm going to make a pledge that I've already made 3 things I'm going to start doing. But I'm gonna, when I'm talking to new people, and I'll put it in chat. But anyways, I'm going to probably then talk to them about UBI and then see what their response is. So I can then put that in your map. And then perhaps if we get other people in the communities to do it and ask them to also do it, then perhaps next year when we meet, we can have more of a summit of all these people going in and actually talking to people about UBI. Maybe that would be something that would be kind of cool. Because like I think it's great, like all this information, but without the action, I'm not sure what, you know what I mean? Like knowledge is great, but I think if you don't do it, it doesn't kind of matter. So anyways, just want to see your thoughts and see if you can do that. And then if you are having people obviously go in right now to other parts of like UK, Scotland, etc., can you also share that ongoing in the group page? So that would then hopefully inspire others to do the same.
Yeah, definitely. So we've done a kind of series of maps, really. One is to represent that survey, but that is something that we could definitely sort of run as a project, even if we got people to submit thoughts or short videos or kind of bits from conversations or an image. Or I know that there's a lady called Jessie that I was chatting to who was part of the Ontario pilot in Canada. And one of the things that she did with her time getting a UBI was she'd always wanted to be a photographer, and she was working like 3 different jobs. And she actually took the UBI and spent that time learning how to do photography to the point where she could charge for it. And although that pilot was cut short, she managed to get within the 7 or 8 months that she did it to a point where she could charge money for it. And she quit her other jobs and became a photographer. And as part of a legacy for that, she took inspiration from, I don't know whether you've ever come across Humans of New York as an Instagram. It's a very famous Instagram where they go around and they interview people on the street and take photos of them. She took that idea and she's done Humans of Basic Income. So she actually gets people to write on a board what they would do with the basic income, and then people take a photo, and that obviously becomes the content for the feed. But she's still in contact with a lot of the people in Ontario, which I think it was done in 3 different places, and the distance that she has to go to meet people is actually a 17-hour drive, because it's on such a big scale that you probably understand a lot better, Michael, than maybe some of us in Europe, because we're on a bit of a different scale to North America. But she's kept in touch with a lot of them. So that's maybe, again, another way we could find little actions that people could do where we could take what happened in the survey and make it more fun and engaging in terms of social media. And if we can just capture that, all I need is a postcode, which we can anonymize so it's not exactly where you are, and we could create a map across the world or in specific places for that.
So yeah, that sounds amazing. If you can like just put one post maybe this week on our group page, and then, you know, or even link to that idea, and then I'll start, you know, this week I'm planning on going at least one person. So I'll start kind of getting the ball rolling. And then perhaps we do have these Action Mondays. Perhaps we can then invite people in your field that's already done it, and then come up with more, just keep hounding, like you're saying, constant reminders. And then that way next year, you know, we can see where, you know, how far we got. What do you all think of that?
That sounds great to me. And it sparks another thought, actually. So Toby, who founded the Northeast Lab and went on to co-found the Arts Lab, he's actually doing his PhD in basic income, but he's an artist. So one of the things that he does is he talks about basic income without using the words basic income. So he's done a series of installations and projects where he asks people questions like, what gets you out of bed in the morning? And if someone paid all of your bills for a year, what would you do with that year? And it gets people thinking about what actually matters to them and has meaning for them, rather than introducing this thing that immediately gets into macroeconomics and policy and stuff like that. It gets people going, well, what does this matter to me? What would I do with that? So we could do it from that angle as well.
That sounds great. So however you want to post, if you can, post the questions, how you want to ask. I'll be the first one. If anybody beats me to it, great. This week, and then we can check in and maybe get real life people who've actually done it, like just regular people doing it, on an Action Monday, or even sharing it or posting if they can't make it somehow. And then so we can start this kind of digital platform that we've created for this kind of small actions leading to bigger actions with UBI. Does that seem okay?
That's great.
All right, great, fantastic.
So Johnny, is there already a network around art and UBI that we could link No Labels, No Walls to? Because I think sometimes to create understanding, you have to be quite creative. And sometimes UBI, at least here in Finland, people tend to be a little bit scared of that. It's too difficult, or something that the politicians decide, or it's not for me. But the question that you raise, what would you do if you wouldn't have to work for a living, in a way, that kind of new kind of economical position to take responsibilities and create better society, that could be a very good thing for festivals also, something that people could join creatively too. Do you have some ideas that you have already done, or would you like to do in art, culture, and UBI?
One thing, could you please open the connection? Now Valtteri Aaltonen is waiting to
Yes, Soilikki. And Soilikki, you can continue from the impact and sustainability point of view. What should we do to make UBI Lab Finland possible?
Yeah. Please, do you talk about the Finnish situation, or what?
Yes. What does it take to create UBI Finland? Is it just we read through the Johnny's paper, sign it, there's 2 persons, and off we go, let the trumpets blow?
Yeah, I think right that way, because it is so easy in Finland to found, for example, an organization, and here is a model, and I have been all the time waiting Valtteri Aaltonen, who is I hope he's just coming to discuss, because here everything is ready to start in Finland, because I know that these people they try to put the discussion on the next level. So floor is ours now, I think so.
That sounds great, Soilikki. I think that the challenge is now on Valtteri. As the time is running out, we can still continue conversation together with Valtteri about the next steps. But the next step for the festival is going to be Riku Turpeinen's new video album. Welcome, Riku. Would you like to introduce your album before we release it to the world? How did you do it, and a little bit about the songs?
Yes, it was a 5-day work, and I did it with my editor, and we had such a pleasant time doing it, and it's not kind of videos that used to are normal with the lip syncs and all that, always, and other kind of normal things that music videos are. They're very special, and they're very theatrical also, and some of the videos are kind of what the normal videos are, but then there is lots of this kind of new style, and lots kind of new experience for everyone to see.
Thank you, Riku. And as we are closing in on our Ubi Lab Finland and Ubi Lab everywhere kind of discussion, I encourage all the audience to catch up with the Ubi Lab network, and let's create Ubi Labs everywhere, and let's join the action, not only in one way, but many ways. We can be creative in linking people together, and it can be also very enjoyable and meaningful, and create a new kind of atmosphere in your local community, and a new kind of possibilities for people everywhere. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Josiane. And we will continue the discussion here. So if you want to join in, then just hop in bit.ly/Action Monday. So probably No Labels, No Walls will continue also with this theme in the following Action Monday. So please join in the Action Monday session every Monday with this same link. And
I want to say just one thing before we roll the video, that there's also a lot of feelings of sorrow and joy in these videos. Different kind of feelings.
And these feelings continue after Riku's premiered videos. We will be joining musical interventions and Music Beyond All Borders, how to create the longest continuous song in the world. So please join in the festival, and let's stay up late. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
So probably No Labels, No Walls. Welcome everybody to No Labels, No Walls Festival 2021. My name is Markus Vähälä, hosting live from Helsinki, Finland. And next we will enjoy Riku's 8th video album. We'll be premiering this in No Labels, No Walls today. Here it comes.
Through the barricades, over the walls. Yeah, we are passing, we are climbing, we are the healing heroes. No labels, no walls. Let us win the game against suspicious minds. Today we are walking through the doors. No labels, no walls. We are walking through the light. No labels, no walls inside. Yeah, oh no, not anymore. We won't cry it out. Yeah, oh no, not anymore. We won't cry chocolates. Pick up the candies we are baking. We are choosing the best items and persons to do the cake for precious people. Sake, we are walking through the doors. No labels, no walls. We are walking into the light. No labels, no walls inside. Yeah, oh no, not anymore. We won't cry. Oh no, not anymore. We won't cry it off. Yeah, cry it off. We won't 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 cry it off. We aren't crying at all. Cry it off. Cry no more. Cry no more. I am building to come up with the feeling to save the world from phobia, and that feeling is still alive. Yeah, hoping for a healer, hoping for a dreamer, hoping for a stranger to build together better. This is something that makes me cry. I still ask why there is still a better future calling, and it's calling us tonight now. Yeah, hoping for a healer. Yeah, hoping for a dreamer, hoping for a stranger to build together better. Yeah, hoping for a healer, hoping for a dreamer, hoping for a stranger to build together better. One more time. Hoping for a healer, hoping for a dreamer, hoping for a stranger to build together better. Building better together, building better together, 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 building better, building better, building better. positive, not be afraid. It's just in being different, sharing each other, being seen, creating, sharing, control, respect. That's all there is. No labels, no walls. That's all there is. No labels, no walls. No labels, no walls. People coming together, encourage each other, being aware, learning dignity, building people, activating people, focusing diversity. That's all that is. No labels, no walls. That's all that is. No labels, no walls. No labels, no walls. No labels, no walls. No walls, no labels, no walls. Take my hand and spread together that the world will be safe. Put a heart in my heart, and your life will never be the same. You will forget the glory and pain. 'Cause I know everything is alright with me. When I get some light, it's stunning sun, it's me. And the Lord will be saying that about the light of life will keep on shining for you and me tonight. That's my hand, let's believe together that we both in love, but believe inside your head and right to the sand. That your life will never be the same. I know everything is alright with me when I get some light. The stunning sun is me, and the Lord is saying that about the light of life will keep on shining on and on for you tonight. I know everything is alright with me when I get some light. Laughing cries, no more lies. Don't wanna lie to myself, just wanna survive. Living every day, I guess I pray for each and every day. Yeah, hey, I live for each and every day, and every day is a new one. I don't give up, that's what I say, and I'm every day human, every day human, every day human. Like a little child, I'm feeling it reborn. Shadows follow me into the night, and again I wait for another day. Every day human in me keeps being awake inside of me. Appreciate every new day. Yeah, hey, hey, I live for each and every one, and every day is a new one for everyone. Don't give up, that's what I say. Now and every day, human, every day. Every day human, every day human, every day human.
Please live for justice and hope for goodwill. Every day human.
Got the fire burning on. We are the no label, no horse, and it's Sunlight Festival. We're planning together to be something big and special. 'Cause we got no secrets, no labels, no walls. We got the mission for our angels and kings to carry on. And it's in our business to shine a light and hit the fire, burn it on. Shine a light and hit the fire, burn it on. Lights and shadows are there on the stage, waiting for me online. There's people, so many people the whole world watching on us. This is our wanderlust. We got no secrets, labels, no walls. Oh, this is our mission for our angels and kings to carry on. And this is our business. Let's shine a light and hit the fire, burn it on. Shine a light and hit the fire, burn it on. I'm standing, 'cause I'm standing here, taking every breath that I'm listening to everybody who has to say. No labels, no holes, community for everyone in this world. We got no secrets, no labels, no walls. This is our mission for the angels and kings to carry on. This is our business. Just shine a light and hit the fire, burn it on. Shine a light and hit the fire, burn it on. Shine a light, be alright. With no labels, no walls, online festival. We need the children and their spirit and their helping hand. We need the children to follow the streets of Wonderland. SOS to the kids, children we need. SOS to the kids, it's the children. It's the children we need their helping hand. Tomorrow they will stand. I believe in the children's spirit, and I believe them making the tomorrow. They I follow. SOS to the kids. It's the children we need. SOS to the children, to the spirit and their helping hand. They I follow and with they I stand. SOS to the kids. It's the children we need. to the cake for precious people sake. We are walking through the doors. No labels, no walls. We are walking to hoping for a stranger to build together better. This is something that makes me cry. Being aware, learning dignity, building people. It's me, and the Lord will be safe. That about the light of life will keep on shining for you. Every day you learn, like a little child, I'm feeling it reborn. Shadows follow me, burning on. Lights and shadows are there on the stage. SOS to the kids, to the children. It's the children who need their helping hand. Tomorrow they will stand.
Welcome to No Labels, No Walls Festival 2021. My name is Markus Vähälä, streaming live from Helsinki, Finland. Now we have gone to the last shared action of the festival. And with this action, I would like to thank all of you for joining the festival and these actions. And these actions will continue every Monday is an Action Monday. So use the same link to meet new people around the world and continue these actions. And thank you, Riku, for a lovely video album premiered here. And we will continue with music, going all the way to United States, to New Haven and musical interventions. We have a session called Music Beyond All Borders, a song to unite all around the globe. So musical intervention and Music Beyond All Borders will be participating in the No Labels, No Walls Festival to write the longest song that unifies the world. What makes this action special? You are part of it. So be prepared for some music beyond all borders.
If you haven't heard the song enough.
Welcome everybody for No Labels, No Walls Festival 2021.
We heard half of your song.
And my name is Markus Vähälä and hosting live here from Finland. And I'm happy to present Music Beyond All Borders and Adam Christopherson from New Haven, United States, and musical intervention. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much,
Hi, Marcus.
Kevin O'Brien over here.
Adam Christopherson over there.
Over here. This is almost 6 feet. Thank you so much. Thank you, No Labels, No Walls, Kukunori, everybody that's had a hand in this incredible festival. We get inspired every time we come together, and we need to come together more often. And great. So we've got a really great little time here. We have incredible leaders coming from all over the globe here who really put music first and put people together that typically don't have access to certain instruments or recording techniques or producers or musicians. We put them together with real professionals to bring the best out of everybody. And it's so amazing, Marcus, that you've been able to put such an incredible network of people together, obviously with the help of Frank Riley, who's not here, but we love him and miss him right now. Would you agree, folks? We love Frank. We love Frank Riley.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's been many years. So 2017, some of us got together in Belfast, Ireland, as part of the European Conference on Mental Health. And we were able to do some songwriting workshops and music videos and really see each other in person. And it wouldn't have been possible if not for our amazing partner in Scotland, Music Broth. Jen.
Hello.
Jen and James.
Hello.
Hey, thanks, Adam. Yeah, we've been part of Music Beyond All Borders since then, since Frank phoned me and said, can you help us out with some instruments? And we put some instruments in a van and put them across to Belfast. And it was such a absolute pleasure for us to see our instruments getting used for the mental health workshops and to see the videos that came out and the smiling faces and the amazing creative songs that came out of it. We were so dead chuffed to be involved. We're a musical instrument library. We're based in Scotland. And we've got over 2,000 instruments now, and we're supporting people who otherwise wouldn't be able to access instruments themselves due to cost or other life factors. And we just support people to tell their stories and create their songs. That's what we do.
and it's amazing that Frank found you. He's been scouring all over the world to see what people are doing in music for mental health and community building. And you guys aren't just a music library, which is an incredible service to the community. You also provide programming, right?
Yeah, we do lots of different musical programs. We do in-person stuff pre-lockdown, and during lockdown we've done online workshops with people. There's actually a group in our space right now rehearsing a song that they wrote together during lockdown, and they're going to perform it in a couple of weeks' time. So that's really exciting. So we've done lots of different work with folks, just like YouTube videos and tutorials and things like that, and then also like online workshops where people could just come together and jam. It kept us all connected and happy, sort of, as best we could be in a tough time. And we delivered instruments from our library to people's homes, so we fully sanitized them and met people on their doorstep and did our 2 meters standing back and all like that, and brought instruments to people's homes as well, so that people could have something to help them during lockdown, as a creative outlet, and not to be feeling too trapped in their 4 walls. A bit of connection outside.
Amazing. And it's good that the drum march is on, right, in the midst of all of this, as we find being creative. Yeah,
we adapt and we change. I think our reaction to COVID was like, what do people need and how do we help? That was kind of our reaction. We were like, how can we best still continue to do the ethos of what we do, but working within the guidance and working within people's own needs. So we listen and respond, and that's what we do.
I love it. And I don't want to be taking too much, because I know you're going to be presenting soon, but I also wanted to just show you how profoundly inspired I am by your opening of a second location.
Yeah, thank you. I think you outed us the last time we were on. Adam. We're like building up to announce it, and we're like, oh, Adam's just announced it internationally. That's cool. That's cool. Cheers.
Sorry?
No, we're cool. That's awesome. We're opening up a second location in the north of Glasgow, where James, who's with me here, has been working really hard, building shelving and all kinds of crazy DIY stuff that he needs to do. I think was putting away drum kits at the weekend. So we're really, really excited for that. We got a lot of very generous donations of instruments during lockdown from different people. I think folk were like tidying out their spaces and clearing out their lofts as one of their actions during lockdown. So very generous donations came into us, and we've been busy fixing them and refurbishing them and trying to get them all ready to go out to new hands to bring musical joy. So
that's great. And in a sense, I'm glad that I outed you, because that's great. The whole world needs to know this.
No, I appreciate it. We do appreciate it too. No, it's good. We're all, when you're in the thing and your head's down and you're working hard, it's like sometimes we don't celebrate our successes enough, and we should be shouting about it. So appreciate it. We can be shy sometimes, so we should learn not to be shy.
Jen, that one hit me right between the eyes. I mean, really, when you're just going full bore, trying to provide this platform for people, the opportunity to really reflect on what you're doing is so hard in this line of work, because it's so demanding. There's not money falling from every tree around to provide these things yet. But I think what we're doing is we're showing models that can work, that can help the communities, that will assist the healthcare systems in ways that could be measured and funded well. So I say keep, at least in our system. That's how I'm looking at it in our system. I don't know exactly how it might work over there, but there should be more attention placed on the importance of the work that we are doing and we love doing, and money should follow.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Marcus has done some really good work on that and got the attention of some of the more government-based kind of funders, and by demonstrating outcomes and by demonstrating the real value of having music as a creative outlet to release some of the pressure in your daily life, you know, to be mindful and in the moment and not stressing about other things that are going on. So that's the most valuable thing, I think, for me. You're not thinking about the next hit or the next whatever, because you're focused on where you are right now. So
it's amazing. It's, you know, Scotland isn't next door to us, but it's so, the empathy is real, and there really is a movement happening international that it must be a spiritual thing, because it's just been so great connecting with you and hearing your work. So thank
you absolutely inspire us too, Adam. So, you know, the feeling's mutual, right back at you. We're like, as I said, me and James are eyeing up your set all the time, just going like, oh, we could do that. Oh yeah. So like, absolutely, we're all about sharing as well. So we're seeing what you do and we're loving it as well, and we're getting ideas. So the buzz keeps spreading. It's good. It's all good.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was just looking at the colour scheme there with the guitars band and thinking, that North Glasgow place, that could look good in that kind of style. And the green screen area, we could incorporate that.
There you go.
See the new stage we just built on the side there?
Looks amazing.
We extended it. Now it's starting to look like a piano. And we can fit more people on there.
Fantastic.
Fit so many more people. You don't have to get up, Kevin.
I know.
I'm still reeling from working on that all night. Okay, so Marcus, one of my favorite drummers in the entire world, songwriter,
Hello.
Incredible community activist and organizer, you name it. Can you just let us know what exactly you do on a typical day?
These days, well, my job as a music therapist has changed a lot when I started to be a CEO of Kukunori. I'm the director now, so it's just too much administration and all this boring paper smelling stuff. But I'm really hoping to meet people for the reasons I got into this industry in the first place, and that was music, and about sharing music, because I think that's the key to all of the things that actually are related to music and well-being. There's always a big element of connection whenever there's two people playing or three people playing. But I think something that really comes up with just listening to Jen's ideas, that kind of action sounds great, because that also brings hope that there's something in tomorrow, you know, that maybe we can do something together, as Adam was saying, the first thing you were saying, we should play, you know, soon, or meet soon and do something together soon. And that really brings me hope. I don't have to be a paper smelling, you know, this director guy for the rest of my life. There will be a day that I can play with you guys, and that really gives me hope for many aspects. But is it also about skills, you know, that even if we don't have to be professionals, we can be lovers of music, as we call amateur. It actually, the word comes from amor, which means love.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, then I just want to stay an amateur forever.
Yeah, me too, because amateurs are real music lovers. You don't have to be a professional to find strengths and skills in music when you're doing it together. Because
that's so great. Hey,
that's something that I'm really just thinking all the day long, just waiting something to happen in music.
We're letting you see we have an audience here.
Hey.
We just recently started Thursday open mics. Everybody's masked up except for me. However, getting people together again, right? We've been doing one-on-one sessions ever since COVID came in an ISO booth with like this air purifier, and we miss the collaborations, we miss the connections and the inspiration that we get from each other. And we just started opening up, maybe 3 or 4 weeks now, opening up the doors for jams on Thursday, where people come in from all walks and get a chance to lift up each other and provide that musical platform for amateurs or professionals if they can stand it, if they can stomach the impromptu openness vibe of that love for music and connection.
Sounds great.
I want to share something. We'll get a little entertainment interlude here. As one of my favorite drummers is. Peter couldn't make it. Oh, the good times, the good times. How are the good times? Did you guys hear that all right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a great project also. Yeah, I actually played that at home here. Yeah.
Oh, I loved every minute of it. That beat was so solid too. That beat was just solid.
I think I have lost a little bit weight after that actually. When I just saw the video, I think I look much healthier now than.
Yeah,
I think it was about 1 year.
All that drumming, you worked up a sweat.
Yeah. Definitely. What a great project, you know. And when is the moment where we can do jamming, you know, online jamming? Like we know that there's a little bit, you know, delay in this kind of doing, and we cannot really do it yet. But it cannot be that long that the connections are so good that we could just play in the same time.
Right. Well, that's up to the Finns because you guys invent everything. So
Okay.
Get on it already.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Exactly. So I noticed our new friends, Studio 73. Hello, Studio 73. If I'm not mistaken, you guys are in Canada. Can you unmute?
Hi.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Okay, go ahead.
There you go. Hi, Studio 73.
Hi.
So nice to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we have a connection. This is our first time meeting in virtual reality. However, with the project that we've got going around now, the Unite the World song, you guys just recently submitted a beautiful sign language interpretation of the song. And we were super inspired by it. What made you come up with that idea?
So the sign language, who was making it when our boss, Jody, right? She's telling us, learning how to do the sign language, and that takes time. So I don't know too much. We just like practice at the studio. We do it like Sundays, and we do that, and that's all.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about Studio 73?
Could I say something? Sign language, we learned it from Studio 73. We learned because we like our singing, and it's give people to know more about sign language, and people can't hear proper, can't talk proper. So we give more knowledge to them with the sign language. Then they will know in their community. Yeah.
So important. Communication is so important. That is a
with the
fantastic.
music, then you will know how to do the sign language, right? Because I see so many videos of sign language. Even now, I know with sign language, you know more better, right? Because I see so many videos in my iPad. Then you know how to explain people.
It's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
great.
can you tell us a little bit about Studio 73?
So Studio 73 is by handmade glass by us. We make that glass. We cut the pieces and then we put it onto the glass. It goes to a machine and it gets melted. And
And then
You have an
we sell
example?
it to, and then we sell it to all the customers.
Yes.
That's incredible. Is this? Oh, this is an example. Yeah, let's see it.
So
That's one of them.
Be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it closer. Do you mind?
Oh, looks beautiful.
That is so beautiful.
That's the one.
Oh,
Ah. Can I buy that one, or is it already sold?
Yes.
You have to order it online.
Yes.
Okay.
We can hook you up.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna order one too.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't beat me to it. I'm gonna watch your eyes. All right, Kevin.
Me
I need to
too.
see
Beautiful.
It's a race. Okay, so what? Yeah, what is? Can you share your website?
Yeah. So do we have a website?
I think we have it in the car. I'll get it.
Yeah, just
We have it on a
Thank you.
brochure. It's on the top. We'll send it to you.
Love the energy coming from
It's
you.
www.com/studio73. It is that.
You have to type that one.
Adrian?
This is beautiful.
We will send it to you.
He's funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
And
can.
Marcus is gonna get jealous.
Be kind and send it to us. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to get Marcus jealous.
I think it's that.
Adrian?
I love it. So, how did you hear about the Unite the World song? I'm curious.
Citizen Network.
This one?
No, he's asking you guys a question.
Yeah.
Citizen Network.
Citizen Network. Oh wow, great. That's fantastic. An incredible service to the world.
Doesn't seem the time.
Layla is here.
Hello, I'm trying to get my words and edgeways. Hello, Adrian.
What?
Adam? Is it Adam?
That's me.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so nice to see you.
Yes, you too.
So I want to. Do you guys want to? Do you guys want to see the song? It's 12 minutes long, so this is going to be like a break. This is like an intermission. So I'll tell just a little context here. So we started this about 3 weeks ago. We wrote a hook, and we left room for everybody to sing their own verse. And so we're building this song verse by verse, including anybody that wants to join in on the mission of uniting the world with a song. And so we sent out the audio track that people can sing to and record to. And we asked people to get back to us with either a green screen or a solid colored backdrop. And so you'll see me sing the first part, which I can't stomach. But after me, you'll see each person go and the song builds on itself over and over again. And we hope that by this time next year, we may have 1,000 people on it. That's huge. I mean, that's huge. I don't even know if that's possible. But hey, let's go for 1,000, right? Are you guys ready for this? Hope you
That's
got
a
your
crazy idea, Adam. I'm in.
I might have to put on a backpack and travel everywhere to find all these people. Okay, so this will be 12 minutes, so get your popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready. You hear it okay? Great.
Let's unite the world with the songs. Voices come together as one. All around the globe, gather who you know. Let's unite the world with the songs.
come together as one. Gotta keep pushing cause the job is never done. Work hard, play hard, we need that time for fun. We all see the light, yeah, we all see the sun. We try to stay afloat and the job is never done. Trying to survive like we're on the run. We're a real family, come together as one. The man gave us all a heart, yeah, we all have one.
Let's unite the world with a song.
A song, a song.
Voices come together as one.
Just one, just one.
All around the globe. Gather who you know.
Everybody, everybody.
Let's unite the world with a song.
Just one,
Come together as one. One. Come together as one. Come together as one.
Work the pen to pages, put up the dialect. You don't gotta make it rhyme, just make it make sense. Someone's in the headspace with you, working up a game face with you, coming together as one just to see how far this song will run, yeah.
Let's unite the world with a song.
A song, a song.
Voices come together as one.
Just one, just one.
All around the globe. Gather who you know.
Everybody, everybody.
Let's unite the world with a song.
Just one,
Come together as one. One. Come together as one. Come together as one.
Come together, learn together, burn together, doing whatever together. Many layers, different tactics, selling hard and plastic. Many hands are in one basket. My life's been tragic, my reflection in broken glass. Pieces of the puzzle in my life, from the stripes to the pen and pad. I can give them something they never had. Critics are my real fans, more dirt, more man. Survival is a universal
Let's
stand.
unite the world with a song.
A song, a song.
Voices come together as one.
Just one, just one.
All around the globe. Gather who you know.
Everybody, everybody.
Let's unite the world with a song. Come together as one. One. Come together as one. One. Come together as one.
We stand together as one.
brothers, do you mind if I call you my brother? Do you mind if I call you my sister? It is time to stop all the hating. It is time to stop all the killing. Stevie said it's time to love. It's time to come together as one.
Let's unite the world with a song. Voices come together as one. All around the globe, gather who you know. Let's unite the world with a song. Come together as one. Come together as one. Come together as one.
Though the world seems very cold, we can find a way to be strong and bold, and try to have a little fun under the warm sun. Bring the world together as one.
Let's unite the world with a song. Voices come together as one. All around the globe, gather who you know. Let's unite the world with a song. Come together as one. Come together as one. Come together as one.
Together we stand in a world where we all need to learn. Love is for all and all for love. Now let's be joined, interconnected. Let's come together. Let's all come together as one.
Let's unite the world with a song. Voices come together as one. All around the globe, gather who you know.
Pay attention, everybody.
Let's unite the world with a song. Come together as one. Come together as one. Come together as one.
Feeling like we always were the best friends ever. Stream of poetry like the best ends never. Moving like a movement from art to stars. This song is like a straight line from heart to heart. Exhibit 1 minute, we get infinity winnings. Feel me healing in a minute, in a rhythm and swimming. In a billion tones, meaning a billion woes. One with the people singing a billion songs.
Let's unite the world with a song. Voices come together as one.
Adding the baritone, by the way.
All around the globe, gather who you know. Let's unite the world with a song. Come together as one. Come together as one.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for our international debut, video 73.
Come together as one. Let's unite the world with a song.
right, all right, all right.
Ooh!
We did it. We did it.
Amazing! Wow!
Wow! Wow! That could just go on forever.
And it gives everybody a chance to, listen to somebody's story for a minute.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I'm so excited to continue that. So we need more people.
Adam, do you hear me?
Yeah.
How can you send it to me? I really like you've done a really good job. I'm very, very impressed.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So if you email us at unitetheworldsong@gmail.com, so unitetheworldsong@gmail.com, and you just say, I want to do this, we will send you a track. We'll send you some basic. Yep.
Could you put it into chat? Because I won't be able to remember it.
Pass it to Marcus. Marcus is on it. I love it. And so, yeah, we'll walk you through the process. We're also thinking we might have to do some of it through Zoom too. So as we go through the process, we'll try to tweak it. It's easy for us to do it here. Not so when people are sending it over, but we will make this work because we need to unite the world with the song.
Yes, we do, because it needs uniting. It needs.
So that's us at Musical Intervention. I'm going to pass the ball to our amazing friends in Scotland, Music Broth. What's going on with Music Beyond All Borders and Music Broth?
Adam, that was wonderful. I absolutely loved it. Well done, everybody involved. Such amazing voices and takes on the song. So like different aspects coming in. Absolutely loved it. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. But I'll be adding my own. It'll be on the way to you. We will be doing it. We'll get some more folk involved over here as well, for sure. Absolutely
Not
fantastic.
me.
Not James.
Me.
we'll get a picture of James in somehow. If he's not going to do something musical, we'll get him involved in some way. We'll take a picture of him fixing a shelf or a drill or something and get it in. Cool.
No one needs my voice. No one needs
Everybody
my voice.
needs your voice, James. Everybody needs everyone's voices. So we've been working with a group during lockdown, and they are from Scotland and based in Glasgow, Aberdeen and Edinburgh, and we did some online work with them, and they're called Families Outside is their organisation, and they are supporting young people who have a parent or a sibling in prison, so people being affected by the incarceration system. And this has especially been a tricky time during lockdown. Life was tough enough anyway, and then during lockdown there was obviously extra restrictions in, so people couldn't get to visit their families and so on. So we were working with them over a few months period and did some songwriting with them, and we've got a little video to show just of the process and some feedback and the songs that they come up with. So this is the premiere, like Adam just did with their premiere. This is our premiere of the songs that the young people wrote for themselves and their experience of having life in lockdown with a parent in prison. So I'll let James take it away. Here you go, James.
Brilliant.
Can you enable screen share?
James.
During lockdown, we wanted to offer more to our young people to help expand their knowledge and experiences, and Music Broth provided the perfect opportunity to do so. The young people were given a safe platform to be open and creative, which they really enjoyed.
Is there a problem?
You need to do it as a screen share, I think, so everybody can see it.
Was it not showing up?
We did see it as a little, yes.
Right. Okay, so it wasn't going large. Right, I won't be able to do it as a file because I'm on Linux, another Finnish thing. And
I think it was okay. Just put it on.
Okay.
It's showing fine here. Thanks.
Okay.
During lockdown, we wanted to offer more to our young people to help expand their knowledge and experiences, and Music Broth provided the perfect opportunity to do so. The young people were given a safe platform to be open and creative, which they really enjoyed. There were the usual challenges of online platforms with connection and engagement issues, and it was also difficult to support the families during the recordings when unable to provide assistance in person. Overall, though, the participants responded really well, creating brilliant songs. The participants grew in confidence and were able to try new instruments they may have otherwise not had the opportunity to. We would recommend the process to others. Even during lockdown, Music Broth were able to get instruments to young people across Scotland and support them to create their own music. Hopefully some of the group have been inspired to take up any music opportunities that may come their way in the future.
That's what I want to say. I say to myself, said freedom. Freedom. Although obscure and rather strange, the feeling of warmth and security, memories of family and friends, joy, cheer, and sunshine. One, two, three, four. I'm off the roads, I'm walking the trails, and storms of hell are raining down me. Breaking news, I'll say I am my way. If you don't make it go that way, probably I'll quarantine today. That's what I want to say. I say to myself, said freedom. Freedom. Although obscure and rather strange, feeling of warmth and security, memories of family and friends, joy, cheer, and sunshine. although obscure and rather strange, feeling of warmth and security, memories of family and friends, joy, cheer, and sunshine.
I think it worked online quite well. I can only imagine that in person how much better it would be, as in everything, you know, just having them there and, you know, the range of instruments and the tutors in person. But it does work online too, you know, providing you have the instruments and everything like that as well. I think just being able to open this out to children and young people and hopefully in the future the adults that support them, it's letting them see that they have, you know, a choice. There's a variety, letting them test things they can see for themselves and learn from them for themselves. Perhaps have the opportunity to learn something they never thought they would be able to do, learning instruments and, you know, learning songwriting techniques and working together with people. They maybe just, a lot of our young people thought that just, you know, they couldn't afford to do that, it wasn't for them. So having this opportunity has only been possible through the funding we received, and opening this up to those children and young people who would otherwise not have had this opportunity, you know, is meaningful to them no matter where it leads to. Even, you know, it could be a lifelong kind of passion for some of the young people, just that it's been fostered by being able to participate in these sessions.
Simple synergy, happy, heavy, this is our energy. Beautiful memories, brother like spaghetti, this is our energy. Party with pals in snowy January, this is our energy. I'm making good with all of my friends, this is our energy.
Beat, side, bite, wave. Deep, side, waves. Last time, deep, side, waves. And raindrops. And flicking away. Section 1. Section 2.
This is our time to shine, this is our energy. Shining like stars, let's do this, this is our energy. Yeah, yeah. Simple synergy, happy, heavy, this is our energy. Beautiful memory, twirl like spaghetti, this is our energy.
1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da.
Simple synergy, happy, heavy, this is our energy. Beautiful memories, brother like spaghetti, this is our energy. Party with pals in snowy January, this is our energy. I'm making good with all of my friends, this is our energy.
So there you go. A little insight into what we did, a little bit of what we did over lockdown with Families Outside. And as you can see, so on the credits there, some of the youngest participants were just 6 years old. So to come up with amazing songs. And I think Twirling Like Spaghetti is my new favorite lyric of all time. I absolutely love it. So I hope you caught that too. I think Kevin might like that one.
That's very, very good. I liked it.
Thank you, Leila. Yeah,
That's
we
an
really enjoyed
incredible idea, Jen. That's a really, really good idea.
I wish
Yeah.
we wish our prisons would do something like that, but
well, hopefully the idea will spread, Leila. That's why we're sharing it, to show what can be done even in the trickiest of circumstances, you know. So we, as you can see, we had lots of fun making it as well. You know, it was a really buzzy, exciting activity to do. And Tracy and Kiana that we're talking. So Tracy's based in Glasgow and Kiana's based in Aberdeen, which, if you don't know Scotland, there's a few hundred miles between those. So, you know, we were interacting over several different locations as well, even just for Scotland. So it just shows that, you know, we have very remote parts of Scotland, highlands and islands, and you can collaborate together musically without having to, you know, travel sometimes, which can be a restriction for people to get to places. So we're kind of demonstrating that as well. It's been really fun, and yeah, it's coming up with some amazing stuff. Those young people, all their own work. So
that was very, very moving. It was incredibly moving. Some of those images that were captured of the art, just heart-wrenching and heartbreaking, and the music really just shines so much light of healing on that very difficult experience that these kids are having to navigate. It's almost impossible to navigate that emotionally as a child, but yet art and music come again to provide emotions to things that we can't put words to. And you know, that is so great, such a great service. What is the status of that now?
So we have future plans. We are working with Families Outside we're looking at future funding, and we're going to try and do some more of that with those crew, and also with some of their adults that they support as well. So it's been a real sort of test of, this is what we can do, and let's do more of it. I think the funding thing is the thing, and I know everybody here will appreciate that as well, is we're always having to go out and look for funding to support these things. But the more that we can demonstrate the benefit of doing it, and like you said, Adam, a picture and a song paints 1,000 words, doesn't it? You know, so I think it's you can feel the feelings and the impact that it has on people. So I think, you know, we're doing our best to demonstrate that and to get more backing and to be able to do that with more people. We just very happily received a thumbs up for some work to work with refugees and asylum seekers in Scotland. So we're really excited for that. It's going to be a big new project we're starting in September. So we're always taking the lessons and the good ideas and trying to spread and reach more people.
Yeah, I think that presentation really outlined exactly what's happening in such a clear way. Anybody watching that would be silly not to support that in some way, shape, or form. So really, really great job.
Thank
James,
you, Adam.
And
yeah, big shout out to James. James put the video together, and as you can see, all the wee video clips were the young people and photos that they took of stuff that was happening in their lives during lockdown. So James managed to put all the different bits and pieces together from that, and shout out to our songwriting tutors as well, Zach and Grace, who worked with everybody during lockdown for that.
yeah, super job, all of it. And I cannot wait to see what's coming up for you. Marcus, you have something?
Yeah, Jen, just love, and James, love this idea and love this work. This is really important and such a great idea to go where people are. So
Thank you.
I was just thinking about one of our friends in Finland called Carlo Uusitalo, who has been the founder of what we call figure notes. It's just like a little colored notes that you can play hundreds of songs together, or actually you can also compose with figure notes. So maybe that could be one of the collaborations that you could think about. If you have the instruments,
Yes,
it's really easy to play. You know, you play the red or yellow or green.
Oh, fantastic, Marcus. And actually really timely, because we're about to start project work with people with mobility issues, so people with limb loss and maybe strokes and stuff like that. So we're doing some work, so that kind of instrument would be fantastic. Let's talk. Okay, we'll talk.
One of our tutors seems to be working along something similar to encourage kids, although it's with fruit symbols.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah,
I'm trying to think what she was using
Jenny.
it for.
Yeah,
now,
so Jenny tried to teach the rhythm. She teaches drums, so she uses fruit symbols to teach drums, like banana, and all the like different symbols for two plums in a pear. So it's all this like really cool little fruit symbols. It's fantastic, and they make a smoothie at the end,
Because I think it's all about just supporting someone.
And getting into
give them an instrument, but also give them some tools to work with. So
and in a language that works as well, So in a language that works we don't all have to be classically trained. I'm a musician and I'm not classically trained. I had no classical training at all. I make stuff up out of my head. So, we're all different. We all work in different ways.
That's right.
So speaking of working in different ways, what is Kukunori up to these days? I know it's a humongous operation, but what is going on over there?
Well, we have about 9 or 10 projects going at the same time. And actually we're working with EU things right now. So we're really looking forward to see new applications of the guided functional peer support model that I think we have been talking about, the culture houses. So we really want to make that thing happen in Europe or in United States, wherever, and that's something that we're really thinking about, how to scale that, how to scale the ideas that we are making. So I think one of the things is that we have such a great ideas, like Jen over here, but where can we hear about this, and how can we learn about that? How can we share those ideas? So that's something that we're really working on, how to make a good picture of your model and show someone other how they can start it on their own in some other country. That's something that we're very interested about right now. We're calling it buying and selling models or social innovations or whatever kind of ideas. That's very important part of our jobs. But we are also working with in mental health field, of course, disability work. We are working with ideas of what we call the personal budget, that actually Markus could tell a lot more, but also working with incarcerated people with culture house model also. And we got things called walking football is still going active, as maybe you, Adam, remember from
I remember winning. Yes, I do remember winning.
Yeah, and there's huge
Adam's still
amount
celebrating by the looks of it, I think, is he?
Yeah. And there's huge amount of new ideas also to go ahead. So we're very excited about these times. I think COVID has been a really inspirational time also. So whenever something really goes not so well, it really inspires you to find the new ideas to help.
Right, necessity is the mother of invention.
That's right. But maybe Markus can continue from this. Brother Markus.
Oh, look, we've got a map.
So there's a map. There's a link in the chat.
I see YouTube.
Yes, and I would like to see all of the culture groups in this map. So we started this map making in the first session. Culture houses was the first session yesterday morning, and now this is the last session of the festival. So let's continue this action so we can find each other and perhaps create new kinds of networks around music. let's get all these boundaries off, no labels, no walls, and let's make music together. So this is one continuous action that I invite all of you to participate. So actually what we are doing festivals like this. Just an hour ago, we finished a very nice concert in Helsinki that included more than 8 artists that are supported by guided functional peer support model online called Rosso Productions, and it's now 1 year old. So that's our baby, but it's starting to walk. So we are using digital platforms like Discord to be able to offer peer support around the clock. And our idea is that perhaps these digital platforms could be the future of music beyond all borders. So people joining in and wanting to make music could have these kind of shared platforms where they can help each other and learn from each other. All of us, also people working in the field, they could learn from each other. There's obstacles around the world around organizational barriers or other barriers, but we are here to take off the walls and around music making. So we need all sorts of innovation around this. Let me see if I can find that concert, but it's now online on Kukunori YouTube. So it's 3.5 hours long. I will put we will not watch it now, but I'll put it on the chat so you can see all these performances. So we've come a long way from this kind of idea, I want to play music, into presenting people that are recording to labels, arranging their own concerts and own festivals. So we need this kind of networking to have all these options open for people so they can create music together. So Adam, is it so that you have a jam session coming up that we could join into or listen?
Yeah, let me set it up. In the meantime, do you mind if I just play a track from our Barcelona days? Not our Barcelona days, our Northern Ireland days.
That would be wonderful.
The Dancing Foxes. Do you remember the Dancing Foxes, our first band?
Yes, I remember. This was done in a creative manner. So we designed this song in very brief time out of things that makes us happy.
family and friends and you. Sunshine coming
Marcus, can you hear us? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Marcus, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Cause it's a digital world, and we might not be sure if the technology is working or not. Take it away. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. GLO, GLO, say GLO, GLO. Welcome to the stage, everybody. Mr. MC, GLO, say GLO. GLO.
Yo, take it to the place, 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 take it to the house, 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 take it to the house. Take it to the house, take it to the house, take it to the house. Take it to the house, take it to the house, take it to the house. Take it to the house now. Take it to the house now. Yo, all I know is that I can go over there, man, like a roll. 1, 2, 3, like I'm out the bowl. Anything back when I lost the soul. Could be what you know. Take it to the place of the least of all. To the S of the roll, like this a roll, like this a roll.
Jump up and down if you love the vibe of the song. Yeah. Jump up and down if you know that soothes your soul.
To the house now. To the house now. Take it to the house now. Take it to the house. Take it to the house. Take it to the house. Take it to the house now. Take it to the house. Take it to the house now. Okay, all I know is that I play. And I know all the straight. Take it away on all the people in life. The ice and the ice. You know I'm right. Live in hell by myself. Go to hell by myself. By myself. Go to hell by myself. Then heaven when I'm rapping. Every day I come on step and take the way. From straight to the people that don't play. To the people that don't play. Every day to the people that don't have to say. Don't have to say. Nothing about the way. Come back to play. To the best of the play. Come back to play. To the best of the play. To the stage. To the everything's okay. Take it to the house. Take it to the house now. Take it to the house now. Take it to the house. 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 What you wanna do when the people take the play? Everything is not the same. Everybody's got a way. When you wanna stray, you don't know how I can play. You don't know how I can stray. You know how I can do. What the hell? What the stuff? You can smell by your health. By the way I was when I'm well in hell.
If you ever had the time to get up, you get up and sing it from your heart. If you ever had the time, this feeling in your soul loses control. Let it out, let it out. Give it the chance to free your mind. Give it a chance. It'll feel soul, it'll feed your vibes, it'll give you warmth, it'll feed your soul, it'll feed your soul, it'll feed your soul. Free your soul. Yeah.
Take it to the high.
Did you guys hear that okay?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, love it.
Great.
You've just made me miss jamming even more. If I couldn't possibly miss jamming even more. That was amazing.
So we're looking forward to, doing this together again with you guys. We just want to keep this thing moving forward because we know what it's doing for people's souls and spirits. And we want to make sure that other folks like us who want to provide this platform for people will be supported. And we'll have some kind of roadmap because it's not easy to make this way. And so with our powers combined, I believe that we really can make music without borders. Music way beyond. We should call it music way beyond borders. I mean, guys, we'll keep jamming, but if anybody else wants to share anything, if we missed anything.
No, we're good. We should tell you we've got me and James, we were just sort of thinking actually that we've got 2 new locations opening because we don't do things by halves. So yeah, we're working with Edinburgh Tool Library, which is a tool library. So they share tools out, reusing stuff in the community as well. And we're going to be busking in Edinburgh on Saturday, and then we're going to do a partnership with they guys that people can join their tool library and then loan instruments from us and work in a partnership so we can get instruments out in Edinburgh. So the other side of the country. Yeah, so that's exciting. So it's just an example of organizations working together that we're not like the tool library is not musical, but we've got the same ethos and the same thing of trying to get people to be able to access things. So yeah, there you go.
Phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
And yet again, it's a 12-hour preview on here, 12 hours before it's going public elsewhere.
So that's a world exclusive for you guys. Woo!
That's out of the bag. There's no taking it back. There's growth from here on. This is amazing. I wanted to say also just a quick update that our research, our clinical research studying how music songwriting in groups impacts people with auditory hallucinations. It was federally funded by the National Institute of Health, and we finished our first cohort, and we have some really good preliminary data to support the power of music and working with the symptoms of schizophrenia, specifically auditory hallucinations. We've also just recently published our first research of the space that we have downtown, and we have beautiful information, including an over 80% retention rate, which is really a big deal when you're working with people that go from place to place. So we have some academic information to add to the body of knowledge, and we were really excited. I'm really excited to get to know the next group, to be honest with you. We have 10 more groups in this study, and then hopefully it'll unlock another 3 years of studying karaoke and how karaoke works for mental health, as well as a variety of other music forms, including listening. So thank you, Marcus Bahala, for everything, for continuing this train down the road and keeping this network strong and united. We are indebted to you in so many ways. We don't know how you do it. I have one daughter at home, and I'm like, well, sorry, I can't make it. Sorry, I can't make it. Sorry, I can't do it. But you seem to be able to do everything with a full plate. And so we applaud you.
Thank you, Adam. And you and Kevin and everybody at Musical Intervention, you're an inspiration. Without you, Music Beyond All Borders wouldn't exist now. But now we invite new people to join our march towards making this music world a reality. So let's continue creating the longest song in the world. There's still time to go towards 1,000 singers and players. Let's learn from each other, like we learned from Jen and James from Music Broth. Let's keep on innovating, and let's keep on creating and sharing. Let's create these platforms where we can meet. For example, these kind of festivals. From those jams that you are now playing, perhaps we should have concerts without no borders. This kind of jams where we could meet online and listen to each other play, and that would be lovely. And No Labels, No Walls is continuing, so let's continue the action as well, and come back later where we are with the project of creating a song that unites the world. So with this speech, I would like to thank all of you here joining us with the Music Beyond All Borders and Musical Intervention and Music Broth and Kukunori, but also all of those who have joined us during these festival days. It's been a celebration of shared action that have a continuity. We are linking these actions together. We are creating new spaces. We are creating maps. We are creating small individual actions that lead into big impact. So after this jamming session, we will close the festival and continue our life together, creating action together. So it's now your turn, Adam, to close the festival with your jamming.
They want more, people. They want more. Let's give them what they want.
Oh, what you wanna know about this? Like, yo, what you wanna know like this? Like, yo, what you wanna know about this? Like, yo, what you know about this? Yo, what you wanna know about this? Like, 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 whoa, 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 what you wanna know about
expand the mind. Every adventure is a chance to test your fate. Give yourself a shot, let it go. You know there's a one way, and it starts with yeah.
Take it to the place where no space, where nobody can stay there. Everybody can get there, nobody can stray there, nobody get there. Nobody can hit there, nobody can pick it there, nobody can fake it there. Nobody can stay there, nobody can stay there, nobody can save it there.
Let's unite the world with a song.
Song.
Voices come together as one. All around the globe. Gather who you know. Let's unite the world with a song. One. Come together as one. Come together as one.
Universal change things goody for people for all the things that we never did, but the people understood me, and the life was goody for all things. When the world was coming around with Poland Springs, was lifting up the positivity. Poverty is the same persons that live in the legendary states. Status is always incredible, the inedible, the inevitable. Now that the people are telling me that I'm low, I'ma blow up and I'm no show. Let's unite the world with a song. Let's unite the world with a song.
Voices come together as one. All around the globe. Gather in the world with a song. Come together as one. Come together as one. Come together as one. And as one. Come together, world.
One straight.
Come together, world.
Yo, lost and found positivity back on the brass. Lost and found positivity back on the brass. You know how we are. When the lessons the place with the next guitar. And other people know that we look at a star. For the good and the good and the people with eyes seats. The hood people in their life. Because they hand with the thunder with life. Not one thing but Jesus Christ. Everything is just changed. None of the God. The stuff that I see changed.
Let's unite the world with a song. With a song. Voices come together as one. All around the globe. Gather who you know. Let's unite the world with a song. Come together as one. Come together as one.
The No Labels, No Walls movement is an active co-creation community which organizes weekly meetings, festivals, campaigns and diverse cultural, art and citizenship action.
And we got everybody together because we know that, people need to come together and create together in order for any kind of real change to happen.
We want to learn together and create a greater impact. Come as you are, wherever you are. All are welcome. Kukunori, the Central Association of Culture and Well-being, works to develop experimental culture through change design rooted with the best practices and data. No Labels, No Walls creates, shares, and supports individuals by building diverse communities whose goals and actions create a positive change in the world.
relationship with the ice.
No Labels, No Walls experiments with what happens when organizations and citizens work together through art, culture, and citizenship action. The first co-designed No Labels, No Walls Citizen Fest was produced by the community in 2019. The festival brought together people and communities in shared spaces offered by the city of Helsinki, the capital of Finland. The 3-day event offered a tremendous selection of diverse programs free of charge that was attended by hundreds of attendees. The festival created an international network of individuals and organizations. This network created together in person and digitally, which overcame the many obstacles created by physical distance and differing time zones. No Labels, No Walls is a limitless platform. Even the COVID crisis did not stop our expanding movement. In 2020, No Labels, No Walls organized a huge international digital citizen fest that had over 4,000 people attending digitally from 39 countries. The digital festival had an abundantly rich program that had over 120 digital festival events from organizations and persons from all over the world. In 2021, No Labels, No Walls built a global Citizen Fest network and launched Citizen Network TV community media. The voice of the movement is louder than ever and strives to reach new individuals and organizations and connect them to our international co-creation network.
Silloin laitetaan tää kiusaamisen stoppiin.
No Labels, No Walls is your movement. Let's create together. Let's create a world with no labels, no walls.